Belgium, Sweden, nope, Switzerland versus Belgium. Coming from two microphones.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are very welcome to the mid-afternoon sunshine in a beautiful Veenendaal, Netherlands. We are in for a treat. It is the under-20 men's division, and two of the titans, two of the more, shall we say, thoughtful, clinical, introspective, but also investigative teams coming together in this matchup. The Belgians taking on the Swiss. You can expect to see a lot of adjustments, a lot of smart ultimate play, and what should be a game with give, takes, rises, falls, crescents, and full circles. It should be a true one for the history books. Belgium currently going out to the line. The Swiss still in their circle, being addressed by their captain, standing very tall and in charge. This Belgian team is drawn from across the country. 6 different clubs represented here. There are the big names: Frise Bees, the 2017 national champions; Jet Set, the finalists; Mooncatchers, Free Spect, Diabolic Heaven and Gentle, all contributing players to this Belgian side. So it is a wide variety of skill from all across the small country. Opposite them, the Mountain Men of Switzerland have been pulled from several different teams. They're also coming from the likes of Oberkirch, where there's a fantastic junior program driven almost entirely by the kids themselves. Panthers, Fab also contributing a lot. The city of Bern has a lot to offer Youth Ultimate in Switzerland, and it will be in full effect this game and for the rest of the week. Switzerland with a good bit of experience. About half of their squad played at this level last year at the World Championships. A few stayovers from last year on the Belgian outfit, but more interestingly for those of you who are students of the Belgian national team, there are several under-17 veterans of the 2015 EYUC final, where they were unfortunate to lose to Germany, but very impressive performance to earn the silver medal. They have been drawn up to the under-20 squad, so a lot of experience all across the pitch. But that's enough of an introduction, because it's time for the meat of the matter. Switzerland starting on defence, pulling it down to Belgium, and collecting the disc in the middle of the pitch is Manuel Halfiger. He spreads it around, and the Swiss seem to be starting off with some man, a little bit poachy on the handlers, trying to peel out into the lane, and you can see there just swatting at the disc but unable to connect with it. The Belgians working way down the pitch. Halflager has it, looks for his options. He needs a dump. He gets one just down the line, just about able to get it, and the Belgians keep working easily into the end zone. Excellent stuff. Give me, it was Evander Elst, the number 6 for Belgium. I totally wasn't looking at the wrong script. Brilliant stuff there, though, as they stayed very close to the open side the whole way down. Benjamin Yonkers, the one who picked up the score, and that is one of the veterans of the under-17 silver medalists from 2015 that I was talking about at the start of the points. You can expect the likes of Yonkers, Hoke, Kinda, Van der Berge to be making quite the performance in this match. Be very exciting to see how they transition up to the higher level. The coaching staff for this Belgian team have what they call strict tactics, where they will start the play with a set play almost every time. They have a plan from the get-go for almost every situation, but plans do not always work, and in that eventuality, especially at this level, I would dare to say frequent eventuality, they focus on just trusting each other and pushing to the break side. The coaching team for the Belgian under-20 men, two brothers, Quentin and Kilian Walsh. Quentin, the older one, by 5 years, determinable almost exclusively by their hats. Quentin will be in the white hat, Kilian in the black. And here come the Belgians on defense, going up against the Swiss. So let's see what the Swiss have going for them. They do have, to an extent, offensive and defensive lines. And here we see the Belgian zone, bit of an arrowhead, trying to keep all that pressure downfield. Those swings are available, but the idea being that once they move them to that sideline, they are able to trap them. So now in that position, Florian Ronke able to work his way out of it to Odermatt. One of the two David Odermatts in the pink shorts. Beautiful hammer through to Bush. Plays for free speed, and if you follow your European Ultimate, you have seen him dominate teams all across the continent. Very impressive in the Windmill final and all tournament long, playing at the highest level Europe has to offer. Great to see what he does here. Another big hammer there from the Swiss. Ronike able to get it, and now you see Odermatt in the middle of the pitch. Determinable by his bright pink shorts. Very well taken down, Ronike saving that one. And they throw a hammer. You can tell that this is a Swiss team. They like to throw mountains. Those things climbing through the sky and piercing it. Brilliant stuff, and coming back down, the influence of some of the more outlandish elements of Swiss Ultimate very much coming through in the offensive efforts there of Switzerland, forgive me. Belgium's defense, the zone, it's all built around trying to trap your opponents on the sideline, force them into a difficult throw. Most coaches would regard that difficult throw as a hammer, and upon seeing a hammer in that situation, say that was a successful implementation of the zone. The unfortunate thing for the Belgians here is there's one team who know how to hammer. It's the Swiss. 1-1. 2 offensive holds, 0 turnovers. And just a taste of the excitement to come. And a big pull. Actually lands just a little bit past the brick mark and rolling through. So here come the Belgians, looking to respond with a hold of their own in these early stages of the match. The Reich spreads it out to the sideline. Yonkers with it, looking for his options, coming under Feller. Arthur Feller, somebody definitely worth watching, and he lashes that one to the end zone, chased out by De Rijk. It's a thing of beauty. They say never throw a same third hook. Well, these Belgians are throwing the old adages to the wind, along with some very pinpoint passes. Excellent stuff by the young Belgians. 2-1, looking very confident out there. So 2-1. And the Belgians again opting to hug that flick sideline. A fantastic hug. But they've not shown too much width to their game so far. Suppose you take what's offered to you, and the Swiss don't tend to offer you much. Here come the Swiss on offense again. So this pull landing out of bounds for what we know is a tiny brick. All quiet on this front for now. You can see there on the sideline the Belgian women out in force in support of their male compatriots, and the Belgians sticking with the zone. An interesting choice. We'll see how it works. It was not very effective the last time because of throws like that. Very calmly taken and passed by the Swiss. Now see Odermatt looking for his options. Wearing the pink EYUC MVP shorts from the tournament in 2015. Showing off, way to point out that he is a danger man. Huge bit coming through by the Belgians, but not enough. Just about corralled by Lucas Igli. Excellent stuff, and he hits Odermatt out on the far sideline. And the Belgians trying to trap them. The Swiss happy to just put up these big hanging discs. They have an awful lot of faith in Ronike to bring those down, and he has. So far unfailingly, Odermatt working quickly and well with Igli to push the pace down the sideline. Drag the cup over and then hit Derinke. And there's Odermatt, and the three handlers are doing it all themselves in a beautiful triangle. Odermatt turns around. Igli in front of the end zone and just pops it in for the first appearance of Cedric van Jonken in the game, and it is an effective one, taking a score and a little bit of a tumble. Seems all is okay. And we can see here just the smooth play down the line and collected there for the score by Van Jonken. If Van Jonken hadn't made that cut, Odermatt was continuing up the line, and it would have been a point scored entirely by the three handlers, Ronike, Odermatt and Igli, against a zone. Excellent work by the Swiss to keep the downfield of the zone occupied and not allow them to come into the handler attack cutting space, and aggressive handler cuts and smooth triangle movement between the three handlers really tore that zone apart. Left Igli with the disc, front corner of the end zone, and a quick and well timed Van Jonken cut to secure the score. 2-2, 10 minutes in. Flawless right now. So here come the Belgians centering it in. De Rijk trying some of his options, and you can see that's the starting play the Belgians have drilled. Different looks for every time, but guaranteed cuts, so the handlers don't have to worry, and the cutters are not allowed to just rest or pull themselves out of the game. Jonkers now with it, sends it back into the middle. Okay, is working tirelessly downfield, a cutter to watch for the rest of the match. Beautiful dish back inside. The Belgians are just working incredibly hard for each other across the fold. They keep getting space directly in the middle, and that is from tireless cutting, well timed. Huge bid opportunity, but he wasn't able to close that gap. Jonkers takes that one comfortably. I wouldn't even describe it as a sprinting pace. The Belgians looking smooth out there. Is it a sign of great offense or poor defense that you barely saw a Swiss defender anywhere near the disc until that final play, and even then Jonkers was not at full pace when he collected it. This O-line for the Belgian team, very well experienced. Most of them are stayovers from the previous year, so they have a lot of experience playing with each other. They're very comfortable and they know each other incredibly well, and it's just shown from how effective they've been, not turning over the disc, not looking too risky. That point was the first time that they really started showing their width, but they certainly showed it with aplomb. Very impressively done. Now you can just see the Belgian coach, Quentin Walsh, determinable, of course, because he is in the white hat. Just giving a little bit of advice on how to try and shut down this incredibly potent Swiss line, stuffed to the brim with class. Igli, Odermatt and Ronika did almost everything on the last point, but that's to say nothing of the quality that the Belgians have downfield. Leander Lucy and Nicolas Bush, just to mention two. Dorn as well is out there. Incredibly impressive. And Merlin Scraggin. Be interesting to see how he gets on. Out there occupying the deep. And a turn far downfield. The Belgian zone able to get it off the handlers. I did not think they were going to give that up. The first turn of the game, and Belgium's opportunity for a break right outside of the Swiss end zone. And the Belgian deep, taking his time getting down there. Faber Mayu goes for the quick flick break. It floats pretty high, but it's going to be chased down. It is there in the back corner. Unfortunately, it goes out of the end, and Dorian Pesselnier, for all his running, wasn't able to catch up to it. So the first opportunity for a break goes wanting, and the Belgians have to restructure themselves, apply the zone again, and hope for another turnover. You have to believe that was a best case scenario for the Belgians. A turn directly in front of the Swiss end zone. Beautiful flick break by Odermatt. Plays it around. And they keep working it together. Ronika back to Odermatt. Ronika stays in the middle. Odermatt beautifully feels that one just around the cup from the opposite angle to the one we're accustomed to. Igli now working with Ronika. Ronika is just so good in that middle spot. So consistent. Odermatt looking for options. Puts a big floaty backhand, but has plenty of time. Ronika has plenty of ups to go get it. And again, the Belgians are doing a good job of shutting down the downfield options for the Swiss. But these Swiss handlers look very comfortable with themselves. The scuba turnover from Ronika, definitely an aberration from the norm. And it will be very difficult to get another turn off them, no matter how long they take to make it down the pitch. Odermatt going with the big flick blade, but they're able to step in and get it. I thought that was Lucy's all day, but fantastic defensive effort from Wara de Konik, stepping in and getting the block. Now the Belgians come again. Van der Berge goes for the big flick hook. It's floating back around, and Odermatt able to reach up and get it, but the throw was off. I don't think Mayu ever really had a chance at that disc. And how quickly they transition into the zone, picking their spots. And able to set it up again. Two turns, but the Swiss been able to get them both back. Odermatt points to where he wants it in the end zone. There's going to be a bit of a battle. Comfortably taken. Fantastic jump from Jürgen Dorn. He read that disc brilliantly, despite the deep efforts of Martin van der Berge. He was unable to stop Dorn from bringing that one down, getting huge and securing the hold for the Swiss after two turnovers, 3-all. Now you notice there the Belgians were able to get two turns off of the Swiss offense, but one of the weaknesses, probably the most glaring, although they are an incredibly strong side in the Belgians, is their offense for their D-line is not that strong. The strongest Belgian handlers, the more experienced, are on the O-line to put in these holds as comfortably as they have all game long. But it means that some of the less experienced, more athletic players are on the D-line, and while they can get the turn, as evidenced twice in the previous point, they do struggle to put it in, again as evidenced twice in the previous point. So that will be something to keep your eye on. This Swiss D-line is yet to get its hands on the disc after the pull. And I suppose we'll have to just keep watching to see if they ever will. The way the Belgians are playing right now, I'm a little skeptical. Obviously there will be turnovers, there will be mistakes. The Belgians looking quite flawless right now. And here come the Belgians, working forward. The Reich has it. And he goes and winds up for the big backhand pull. It's going very fast and skips past the outstretched hand of Arthur Feller. Incredibly quick, but that one was zipping all the way to the ground in the opposite end zone. Would have required something truly special for him to bring it in. And now Feller on the force. He's picking up the disc. Jan Philipp Pohlmeier goes with a beautiful break around, and I'm very excited to see how these Swiss are doing now that they're on this end zone line. Durer gets that back into Milde Pohlmeier. Sends it under, and great work. Vandrich doesn't like the options he sees initially. Looks for the dump, squeezes it through a tiny crevasse. Just about able to find Baumgartner, who floats it up, and the Belgians are going to try and swarm. A huge layout bid, but coming up empty, as that was being patrolled very well by Descamps. Takes it, and the Belgians are back to work. Ravier has it, sends it to the middle. Yonkers thinks about sending it, instead goes with the fluid Scuba. I love that, to the break side. It's a legitimate throw if you can throw it. A high release backhand break to Yonkers. And this is the kind of offense they like to play, all the way down the break side. 2 Scubers in a row by the young number 35 Yonkers. And 2 easy over the top backhands in response by Arthur Feller. Excellent stuff by the Belgians. Bit unfortunate on the deep shot initially. Able to get the disc back. The final hurdle for the Swiss D-line. And that time just walking it all the way down the pitch. And I'd say the 2 Walsh brothers will be very happy with what their team were able to do in that game. They like to force it to the break side. They like to keep pushing it. And we can see here how they work their way around to it. Yonkers faking the hammer, going for the beautiful Scuba, his second. And then in response, Feller, who just previously had popped a backhand, cheeky little backhand, over the shoulder of his mark, and does it equally well there to Elias Ravier. The second one was not as full of grace as the first one, but gets the job done, and they score the point. 3-all. 20 minutes gone in this match. Now we're starting to see a couple of turnovers. 1 for the Belgians, 2 for the Swiss, but both points resulting in a hold. A call of frustration from Yonkers following a pull I'm assuming he's unhappy with. And now Igli has it. Working as always with Odermatt and Renike. Renike able to get it to Lucy, who puts up a huge hammer. Yonkers is underneath it and catches it, taking it down confidently. And now the Belgians with a chance, and we can see Yonkers, one of the veteran players, coming over onto the D-line, something that the Belgians were looking for. Did you see Bush absolutely shut him down on the D, forcing the look further downfield where Lemons was coming as quick as he could, but right on his tail was Van Junken. And now a conversation about whether or not Van Junken got man. He definitely got some disc, but did he get too much man on his way there? Now Lemons picking up the frisbee to help act out the discussion. Puts it back into the middle to Van Leberge. Van Leberge tries to put around Odermatt, heads up D, picks it up immediately and slays it into the end zone. Beautiful stuff. Lucy chasing it down. Great recovery from Odermatt, after the Swiss turn on that hammer. And so the Swiss are able to put together a hold after giving up another turn. 4-3. This game still on serve. 4-3. You see Christine Herlemann, the head coach for the Swiss, out there marshalling her troops. Time to seize the advantage. The Belgians ready to go. 4-all. On the previous point, we saw some of the Belgian experienced players, their O-line players, likes of Yonkers, stepping onto the D-line to try and help out. Yonkers was able to get the D, but the Belgians were not able to convert in the end. Now their O-line, the Swiss, have decided to come out in a zone of their own, which initially the Belgians just disregard entirely thanks to a fantastic throw. The Reich. Oh, gets caught out there, sweeping in with an authoritative block. Hauser. And now the Swiss have it at half field. 4-all. Still on serve, the Swiss with a chance to steal it back. They turned the Belgians once before and weren't able to succeed. Let's see what they can do now. Immediate cutting. Good work there by the handlers to keep moving for each other. And now with the disc, you see Polmeyer looking for some options, perhaps thinking about a hammer. Takes the flick break. It was curving around right into the hands of Gadamian, but unable to bring it in. So Derek picks it up, centers it into the middle. Skips by the middle, in fact. Okay, there on the far sideline to get it. Fakes the hammer, I like that look. And the entire Swiss zone twitches momentarily. So receiver Arthur Feller, a big part of this offensive team. The Reich, it's okay. He keeps the move going to the other side. Feller looking for options. This Swiss zone looks to lock them down initially, but they are able to see a couple of spots, and easily done. Inside out backhand from Feller. Smoothly across the pitch. And okay, right back to Feller. They're using the wings to great effect, and he scoops that one around. We got ourselves a bit of a battle, folks. And the Swiss player more than up for it in the end. Excellently done on the defensive end. It was Heitstand who was able to get up over Samuel Kinda. So now the Swiss get another look in to try and seize this initiative and go 5-4 up. Let's see what they're capable. Jan Gadamian. They're working with a split stack here. Some immediate cutting right in front. Excellent switching by the Belgian defense. Heads up by Van der Elst, shutting down that play. And all of a sudden the stall count is getting very high. Able to work it off. Some hard cutting by the Swiss handlers. Thought that deep shot was coming. Vandrik decides against it. And they just keep working for each other all the time. High stand. Using the energy of youth. A lovely inside flick break. Gadamian sold a few people with that fake. And this one's for real. It's blading all the way around. If it stays in bounds, excellent take. Polmeyer was able to run under it, correct himself, get it, and score the first break for the Swiss. Brilliant put by Polmeyer, or brilliant catch, should I say, by Polmeyer. Very confidently done. Bullman chasing up afterwards to help collect it. And the Swiss doing a fairly poor celebration. But let's go back and look at the point. You can see the fake from Gadamian on the backhand. Instead, sides after a little bit of humming and hawing. I am going to go for the flick. Polmeyer's one of our best receivers. I'm going to trust him. It curves away. He turns his body fantastically to take it in. And chasing down in support, Bullman attacks the open space. Gets the disc. And that's the first break. Got to give a shout out to Hauser as well, who made the initial cut into the end zone, but selflessly decided to pull away to the far side, which opened up the space for the next cutter and didn't cause any clogging. Just an important move as the score itself. Requires great presence of mind as well, especially at this level. To have that kind of creative cutting. It's truly an asset. So a quick timeout for the two teams. An opportunity to reflect, recollect, file it away and move on with the game. A few more highlights for us to enjoy. An absolutely huge grab. Putting it to the end zone. Excellent hammer. And that was early on when the Swiss were showing what they're made of. Very impressive stuff. So after that brief break, you know, I have to say, I thought the dab was gone. I thought it had had its moment and it had passed, but based off the amount of young people who keep dabbing at our cameras, it's very much alive and well. Good news for the fans of the dab, I suppose. And here are Belgium. Centering it to the middle to Reich. And the Swiss going with a man, but a little bit of a poachy one. They'll get it through to Kinda, who puts it out wide. And Mullen back to Durek. It's okay in the middle. Belgium's been so good at generating that space for each other in the middle. Yonkers now with it. Back to Hockey. They just keep working that open space. Well, right now there's an awful lot of it. They have to go backwards to Durek. Durek plays that back down the line. Kinda there for him. Yonkers coming under. Hands open like the jaw of a crocodile, snapping up that disc. Yonkers floats it down to Durek with a huge jump in. Must have been about 4 to 5 feet he covered there. But securing the score for his team. Belgium respond to their break emphatically. See there, that was Yonkers. Looking around for a few options. To Reich, charging down the line. Jumps it in. Comfortably done. And that's more like the Belgian offense of the previous points. So a great response to the break, immediately scoring afterwards, not allowing the Swiss to put together any kind of a run. Tying the game back up at 5-all. So now the Swiss back out in offense. The Belgians have been able to turn the Swiss. They just haven't been able to break them. They're going to get another shot at it now. Fuller and Kinda out there on the D-line. Give a little bit of that experience and support. Odermatt looking for options. He's able to get it off to Bush, who gives it right back. They've got a few options tearing deep, decides against them. It was a great little cut, but opts instead to give the dump to Eagly. Looking to try and generate space in the middle. Bush turns on the burners and is gone. Look around. The deep cuts are definitely coming, but they're deciding against it. Eagly floats that one out. It's well taken in by Ronika. Now Eagly sets off himself. Beautiful turn. Loses his man, hits Odermatt on the continuation. And Bush coming through. It's a difficult throw. One Odermatt put in the way, but just far enough away from Bush that he assumed somebody else was coming behind. So now, Mayu picking up the disc. Look around for a few options, able to get the break to Kinda. That one was coming close to the trailing Swiss defender. He had to be authoritative in his collection of it. There were some options, beautifully done, I thought, because I was blocked out by the Swiss defender, but in the end, they seemed to be just too far ahead of Mayu. Certainly a nice idea, but the Swiss are going to come back. Odermatt. Gets it to Bush. Bush is a very accomplished cutter. And he's able to set that one off to Sugragan. Now Odermatt has it again, right in front of the Belgian end zone. He is so good at breaking the mark. You can see him looking to make eye contact with some of the players. Getting one of them to cut for him once that connection is there. And Nick trying to do a similar thing as well. Make that eye contact, throws it to Odermatt, who does a bit of a stutter cut. You see the frustration on the face of Mayu, who has to mark Odermatt, looking for somebody to talk to him, give him a little bit of information. The only person Ronika wanted to throw that disc to was Odermatt. Locked eyes with him, and once that connection is locked in, it is difficult for a defender to stop it all on their own. Very accurate blade. I'm hard pressed for anyone to really be able to get in the way of that. It's 6-5 to the Swiss. And the Belgians just having a quick conversation with each other. Need a hold to keep it level. It's been a very close game so far. Definitely one to keep your eye on. Over on the other pitch right now, pitch 1. There's the under-20 women's as the Czech Republic team are currently taking on Italy. Worth hopping over there to see how that's getting on. Although if I were you, I'd stay here. Although if I were you, I wasn't be confined to a large scaffold, so I'd be more open with choices. But all the same, this is where the action is in the under-20 men's division, and it has been some gripping action so far. Van Moulem centers that back into the middle. Boelman and back into the middle. Descan has been involved in everything so far. Lovely little backhand break. Drop down now, Van Moulem has it. Pops it back to De Rijk. Giving it out to Yonkers. Back in the middle to Van Moulem. To De Rijk. And they're just swinging it around side to side against the Swiss zone. The Swiss trying to lock in that trap now. So far being unsuccessful. Descan, De Rijk. Okay, coming all the way back around now as well. A lot of disc skills on these 7 players. And they're dropping back down. Yonkers with the quick give and go. Right in front of the jaws of the Swiss defense, but able to push it to halfway. And the idea with this zone is that you make your opponents throw 1,000 passes. And the odds are in your favour that they'll get one wrong. Well, right now, the Belgians look like they're just as comfortable throwing 1,000 as the Swiss are letting them. Okay. Pops it back down line to De Rijk. Van der Est makes a cut for the opposite sideline. I think the hammer opportunity was briefly open to them. Yonkers goes down the line. The Belgians continue to work this around. And a big bid coming under from Half Liger, and they take advantage. Yonkers tries to get up. He's got a lot of reach to him, but in the end, the hand that touches it is Polmeyer. The Belgians are able to get the turn. Sorry, the Swiss are able to get the turn. Belgians giving it up after spending a very long time passing it around amongst themselves, eventually opting to go for the long shot. And now the Swiss coming out on offense, looking for their second break, wanting to push the lead out to 2 points. Jan Gademan picking up the disc, marked by De Rijk. An immediate movement from the Swiss to try and open up the open side. Yonkers was wise to it the whole way and made it difficult all the way down. They're able to get the turn quickly back around. The defensive awareness from Yonkers there. He seemed to read that play all the way, put himself in the correct position, made the catch hard, and then the Belgians quickly strike back, tying up this game 6-6. And look how swiftly De Rijk is able to send this one to the end zone. Collected by Ravier. Now the Belgians back out on defense, hoping to get a break and put themselves back in that power position. They did start the game on offense, so if the Swiss are able to hold out for the next 2 points, they will get the disc starting out of the second half. Odermatt picks it up. He's got Eagly to one side, a side stack downfield. Pops it back to Eagly. Bush coming there for him. Down the break, they take Odermatt for the easy dump. Eagly keeps cutting for his handler. Great movement. Winds one up and launches it down to Bush. But De Rijk is there and bats it out of the sky. Thought for a second he was going to tear it down, but instead opting to hit it. Goes to walk away, but no one else is approaching the disc. De Rijk picks it up, looking for options. Goes for the deep shot immediately. There seems to have been a foul call, although it did seem like a hand signal for a pick. Arthur Feller going deep immediately, and that did look like quite a good throw. So let's see what De Rijk takes. Instead, Arthur Feller just turns and goes under. De Rijk hits him back in the middle to Kinda. Back out to Fuller. De Rijk has it. Movement coming downfield. Two cutters available to him. Sidestep Van Lerberge. Fuller with it. Looking perhaps to the end zone. Instead goes for the dump. De Rijk now. Definitely looking. And Fuller making the cut nice and easy for him. The Belgians know how important this is. Going for the hammer. All the marbles. But it just sails over the head of the intended receiver, Van Lerberge. I was just about to talk about how the Belgians knew how important it was and were going to treasure the disc. It's a good thing I didn't. I would have looked quite foolish going with the risky shot to try and get back that break. In the end, too far for Van Lerberge. The player looked closest to being able to catch it was Bush, but not inclined to do so as he is a cutter for the Swiss. So now Runica able to hit Bush, who definitely wants the disc now. He floats that one out. Sweeping in to collect it. Raphael Iversen. And he puts up a floaty flick. The fella absolutely gobbles up. Puts back to Tarika. And a big around break backhand that doesn't look like it's going to come back in. Feller jumped from inbounds seemingly, but didn't touch the disc. It appears he's saying he did touch the disc. And now the Belgians are forced to play defense. That disc had to come a lot of the way back down. That's a beautiful put to the end zone. And Van Leberg shuts down the best efforts of Bush. You've got to say you like the look of that shot. Coming out of the hands of Ronica. You don't like the look of that if you're a Belgian fan. Feller having to walk off the pitch, holding his knee. He's been such a good receiver all game long for this Belgian team. This is a critical moment, 6-all. Per Yonkers is coming on for him. Not a bad swap, but we certainly hope Feller will be okay. Great player to watch. True delight on the pitch for us fans. Nadaric. Calls a timeout immediately, recognizing how important this moment is. It's the Belgians and the Swiss separate into their camps to go over some tactics. Belgians have to march it all the way down the pitch, but they've looked comfortable doing it so far. They're very impressive O-line. Still only one break in the game. Belgium starting on offense, looking to win it back and retake the lead. So something the Swiss coaches, Christine Hurliman and Nicolas Miglioretto, were telling me before the game, is they want to be fluid. They want to be able to make adjustments as the game goes on, based off how their opponents play. They will have gotten the measure of the major players in this Belgian offensive line, the likes of De Rijk, the likes of Jonker, the likes of Kinda. I'm not entirely sure how they plan on shutting those players down, as they have been very effective so far. But they've definitely taken note and have come up with a strategy, one that they're currently discussing. Be exciting to see what they come out with after this timeout. Now they need how they plan to win this disc back. The Belgians have a set play for every occasion. Well drilled and honed. So they're taking this moment to establish what the move will be and how best to exploit this opportunity. Yonkers and Kinda setting themselves up right in the middle of the pitch. Give a shout out to all the fans back home. If you'd like to talk to us, we're accessible. EYUC, hashtag EYUC 2017 on Twitter. Feel free to just shoot out some tweets cheering on your favorite teams. Let us know how it's going on back home. I've been told that Samuel Kinda is going to have some family from Burkina Faso watching us. And of course all of the Belgian families back home cheering on their sons right now. The Reich with the disc. Odermatt on the force. Also shout out to all the Swiss. We don't want to seem like we're biased. Yonkers gets it. It's Kinda. Good move by the Swiss to come out in a zone to shut down whatever that initial play was. It is difficult to run an offensive play against the setup of a zone. A lot of the times you run right into the cuts to Reich. We've seen that backhand break before. Last time they couldn't stay in. This time Kinda's chasing it down, but just a little bit too far ahead of him. An awful lot of spin, awful lot of speed. Doesn't quite come off. That one was in bounds though, so if he goes for a third, you got to imagine he'll have tuned it up and it'll go right where he needs it to. But for now, here come the Swiss. They got the turn they were looking for. Unica with the disc. Trapped in that front corner. He looks to Igli, who gets free as he has so many times before. But the Belgians doing everything they can to trap the Swiss back in this zone. And Igli puts up a huge hammer beautifully into the path of Von Juncken, who turns around and lasers a flick. Somehow escapes the Belgian defense. Lucy picks it up and pops it into a Bouche. The downfield brothers. Belper definitely had a good shot at that. That's number 29 for the Belgians. I thought that was going to be his D all day. It just seemed to skip past his fingers into the path of a streaking Lucy. Takes a breath. Bouche makes the move. And completion for the score, 7-6. The Swiss now in touching distance of half-time. The Belgians need 2 in a row to get back on serve. Regardless of who gets to 8 first, the Swiss will start the second half with the disc. So here we go, the Belgians looking for that offensive hold. Getting it right into the middle. Van Moulem swings around to Derek. The Swiss deciding to stick with the zone. It is not too windy right now. So I'd say a good few of the options the Belgians like to go for still available. Although there's a quick turn to Reich, just throws it right into the jaws of the Swiss zone. Shows you what I know. And a great grab. I thought that was destined to hit the dirt, but I was wrong again. Van Dijk, this time the one disproving me. Looking for some options. The dump cuts are coming. He's forced to pop it, and another layout rescue. Hide stand this time. The Swiss are just about maintaining possession, thanks to some individual brilliance. And Van Dijk and high stand. Now the disc staring down the end zone. Gadamine. And a timeout called. Smart decision. Gives the Swiss a chance to just take their breath, collect themselves, get ready for the next move. So while that timeout is happening, let's show you some of the action from earlier in the game. This was the huge layout save that Heistand made after Van Dijk, who in fairness had just made a very similar, incredibly impressive layout grab himself, gets put under immediate pressure by a suffocating Belgian defense. A little bit of a miscommunication, throws it the wrong way, but Heistand able to change direction and lunge at the ground just in time to scoop it up. And now the Swiss knocking on the door. Disc is in the hands of Gadamine. So the action about to restart. Galamine with the disc, fakes the inside break that I was sure he was going for, floats that one around. It was running out of air. Dürer lays out with the catch. Pops it right to the front of the end zone. High stand has it. Spreads it back around to Dürer. And they continue the swing all the way to take half. Textbook offense by the Swiss. In the end, it's Pohlmeier who gets the assist. And how many times has he shown up right when the Swiss need it? 8-6 they take half after what was a grueling and close matchup. That time the bomb celebration was much better timed. A much more appropriate point to use it. Lovely throw from Pohlmeier into the end zone. Half-flagger collects it. And the Swiss 8-6 up at the end of this first half. A difficult battle, one that has been very close all the way and one that has plenty more game left to go in it, but they will be getting the disc back to come out at the start of the second half. They will be certainly in the power position. So Belgium are going to have to dig deep, find some answers. Be exciting. This is the celebration. Much better timed than the previous one. The previous one, well, I gotta be honest with you folks, they made a pretty big games of it. And if you're gonna do those kind of all-team celebrations, they need to be well synchronized, because there's a certain section of the Ultimate community who don't appreciate them, namely the people you're playing against. So if you do it and then you do it badly, you know, if you're gonna do these things, you gotta get them right. And that time they definitely did. Something else they've been getting right, especially in the latter stages, is their defensive offense looking a lot cooler, a lot more comfortable, able to swing it around a lot more. So we're just going to look at a few replays. This was the huge grab from Ronique. Thought it was going way over, and after a huge grab, you've got to complete the huge play. Massive hammer all the way to the back of the end zone. Great stuff out of the Swiss. Here we see the Belgians responding kind. Lovely huck down the sideline, chased down by Derek. And this is the final one. A big sweeping pass all the way across. Looked like Belgium's zone was going to be able to knock it out, but Jürgen Dorn ripping it down from the sky. Able to beat Van der Berge in the air. So plenty of excitement and plenty of action, as you can see from those highlights, and there will be plenty more to come. So keep it here, fancy.com. Reach us on Twitter at #EYUC2017. Happening on Field 1 if you're looking to keep some Ultimate going. If you haven't had enough yet and you don't want to sit through this time out, Italy are playing the Czech Republic in the under-20 women's division, being commentated by Sarah Harrison and Benji Rees. Definitely worth a cheeky gander. I'll be back in a few minutes. I am Lorcan Murray, and we've got a second half to come. Coming back, it's coming back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the coaches and the players not picked for this line filter their way back to the sidelines of the pitch, allow me to filter us back into the action here in the second half of this pool game between Switzerland and Belgium under 20s at the EYUC 2017, brought to you by Fancy.com. I am Lorca Murray, and it is a pleasure to have you here with us in the beautiful fields of Veenendaal in Netherlands. Right now the Swiss are 8-6 up after starting on defense at the start of the game. So some very well timed breaks, and with the opportunity to get another point in the lead now. We will see how the Belgians come out on defense. They have tried an arrowhead zone at certain points in the game, although the Swiss have looked largely unfazed by it. Their man defense, however, has been able to generate turns, but at times it has been the defensive offense, as in their ability to score after getting the disc off the Swiss O-line, that has let the Belgians down. Still hunting for their first break. And Lemon's putting a big force on Ronika. Now the disc Van Euken. He's got Odermatt. Hits it back around to him. Odermatt distinguishable thanks to the bright pink shorts that he's somehow allowed to wear. When you think about it, I think there are regulations actually don't let you do that. Odermatt doesn't care for your regulations and doesn't care for your force either. A beautiful arcing backhand break. Two different Swiss players chasing it down. In the end, it's Eugen Dorn getting what is at least his third point of the game. Also there was Van Junken, another great receiver for the Swiss. Beautiful throw, excellent hold, 9-6. And the Swedes take firm control, grasping this game by its throat. And we'll see if the Belgians are starting to struggle for air. So once again, out there and identifiable by his white hat, Quentin Walsh. Nicolas Miglioretto coaching the Swiss, just taking his place on the sideline as the Swiss come back down on defense. Scored the last 3 points in this game. Scored points on both sides of the half. Oh, they break it there. So now here come the Belgians. Cornel Descan walks it to the middle of the pitch. The Swiss seem to be switching a little bit to man, but keeping a bit poachy. You can see the two dump handler marks peeling off into the lane. And it's a zone. Immediately Descan throws a hammer to Yonkers. Marvelously done. Yonkers tries to move around the force. Those are some lightning quick fakes he has. Derek trying to get free. In the end keeps running. That was some excellent patience by Van Meulen, forcing the break. After moving around his force an awful lot, Derek, looking for options, is able to get it off the feller. The air pushes up just a little bit, but still well within the range. of Feller. Pops it back out to Van Mullen. Now Yonkers has it. Thinks about going for the big hook, decides against it, pulls it back in. And Van Mullen back in the middle, and the Swiss are doing a good job of holding the Belgians down, keeping them forced back. Feller has it. Throws it back into the middle to Ravier. Big bid coming up empty as Yonkers looks to walk this one all the way in. Instead decides to just toe the line. Doesn't want to be distracted by too many different lines when he's making sure he gets the catch. Back into Van Mullen. There's a quick break available to them. Decides against it. Goes with a huge hammer in the end. It's going to drift. Massive, ambitious bid by De Rijk, but a little bit risky. Comes up, perhaps holding his wrist just a little, just correcting his watch. But if ever there was a time for plays like that, it's now. 3 points down. Huge hammer. De Rijk jumping almost an entire second too late. This could almost touch the ground by the time he left it. So now we'll see how the Swiss were able to work it from their own end zone. Not entirely sure why there was just a bit of discussion going on between the two sides. Resolved in the end without a call. A little unsure as to why there was a stoppage there. But in the end, Odermatt picks up the disc, walks to the front of the end zone, and gets ready to put in some work. Has to go for the high release flick. Well touched initially, but swept up by Heistand. It was good Belgian defense on the dump mark on Gadamian, forcing them to go for the difficult high release flick throw. The touch was there, but Heistand was able to rescue it. Now the Swiss still in possession. Odermatt back to work, looking for options, not receiving them too quickly. Goes back to Gadamian. Slight clash of heads between the two Belgian defenders. Downfield to Heistand. Back to Gadamian. Things almost coming to a standstill downfield. The Swiss looking for a bit of inspiration. Odermatt keeps moving and completing his cut. Gadamian started off in the handler position. Excellent switch. The two cutters coming from handling initially, filtered through to the stack. And another big celebration by the Swiss as they feel it. They're starting to roll. 10-6 up. 2 points consecutively either side of the half, pushing them out to a 4-point lead. Let's just see it again. Odermatt cutting from the stack. Gadamian, who was cycling through and just turned it into a deep cut. You see how much space he generated. I'm sure the Belgian defender was expecting him to settle down somewhere in the stack or turn back into a handling position, but instead he finished it all the way to the end zone. And that's another break. The Swiss put in a lot of work to make it from the front of their own end zone after the hammer turn on from the Belgians to get that score. So now with a commanding 4-point lead. 66 minutes into this game, so still plenty of time to play. Over half an hour left. We'll see how the Belgians are able to cope with this pressure and this deficit. They're going to need to start by scoring. On an offensive hold. De Rijk has Kinda, hits him on the near sideline. All the way down, Yonkers digging up grass to pick that up, and that looked like the Belgium from the start of this game. effortless work, a beautiful put to the end zone from Yonkers. Caught by Van der Elst. You can see here Kinda down the line to him. Yonkers has to get low to pick it up and floats that one out perfectly. Absolutely nothing that Polmeyer could do, as skillful as he is, to make up that distance. I like that celebration by Van der Elst. Trying to get a bit of heat back into his team, pump them up for the game. They're not out of it yet, far from it. 3 points in between them. Still looking for that first break. But 1 point at a time. I'll see what the Belgians can do. De Rijk staying out there. He's played a huge amount of the points for this Belgian team. There's Eagly underneath it. Picks it up. He's got Odermatt right in front of him and hits him. Center of the pitch. Ronika coming from downfield to take his place in the standard 3-4, but he's just coming out with a side stack, at least initially. Bush with the disc looking for somebody, gets it to Eagly. And tearing deep with authority, Dorn, but Eagly looks him off instead, hoping for Bush to be able to get free. It's the versatility of this Swiss side. So many handlers have just gone downfield to cut, so many cutters comfortable coming back and helping out handle. Really stands them. Eagly, another fantastic up the line turn and burn back across for the easy dump. Odermatt looking for options. He's got Ronika, who keeps the swing going to Eagly. Now Lossi floats it out to the end zone. There's a bit of a battle, but the Belgians able to get a touch on it. I thought that was going to be Iverson's all day, and if not his, perhaps Bush's beforehand, but in the end, Ward Lemons coming across and smacking it out of the air. That's the turn the Belgians needed, but they've got turns before in this match, so I'm sure the fans at home can remember. Where they need to step up is here on the offense following the turn. Drake out there. Beautiful break coming straight to the basket of Hafliger. He's got the right back in the middle. Now, the Reich puts it up to Van der East. It looks like it's inch perfect. It is. And once again, throwing it behind him. Lovely celebration, starting to fill the Belgians with a bit of fight. They needed that one. 10-8, their first break of the game. They'll need another 3 more to get this lead. But after a throw like that from De Rijk, you have to believe that they have that within their wheelhouse. De Rijk, so dangerous. Able to set people up from all over the pitch. Interesting little tidbit about the Belgian national team. Because of the 2 distinct languages in Belgium, the French and the Flemish, they do not coach in either of those languages. In order to keep it fair, the coaches conduct everything through English, so that everybody is using their second language rather than some people using just their first. And say if they were to do it entirely in French, as that is where the Welsh brothers, that's the particular language the Welsh brothers speak fluently as their first language, it is a lot more difficult for the players of Flemish origin. But the difficulties they revealed to me about coaching in your second language is that it lacks the precision of the native tongue. Right now the Belgians definitely all speaking the same language on a 2-point run. And Odermatt puts that one a little bit too high. Almost too lackadaisical. Van der Est, who's been a big part of this comeback, the one who's able to follow up Bush as it sails over his head and collect it. And now the Belgians go back to work. It's still there. A bit of a bobble, but Bayou able to pick it up in the end. Looking for his options. A fantastic inside break to Yonkers, who now tries to hit the open side, but with authority sweeping across. Scraggin. Second, it looked like Van der Est was going to get his 3rd point in a row. Dragon had other ideas. Now Odermatt sets up a huge hook, curling beautifully into Bush as he takes that nice and high and just pops it into the end zone. Dragon, who got the D on one side, they follow the big hook and unable to get it on the other. Is the Belgian defense. So Dragon chases it all the way down the pitch for the double happiness. Great recovery, great throw from Odermatt. Tough one for the Belgians. They're just a few precious inches away from making it 10-9. See Van der Est. That was a great rescue. Sorry, Mayu. The great rescue. But ultimately they turned, and then Odermatt. What a put to Bush. Fender unable to make up the distance. I believe it was Belpaire who was chasing it down. Came so close. That's got to be a tough one to take. But far from out of it. The Swiss score a hold. 11-8. Belgians hoping to respond in kind with a hold of their own. Here comes the pull from the Swiss. Gadamian saying that one lands just behind the brick. And the Belgians beginning bent. Descan has it. Still looking at a few of his options. A delicious inside to Yonkers, who again just steps and throws the big, beautiful flick all the way to the back corner, taken down competently by Nicolas Oquet. 11-9. The Belgians, I like how they just throw that disc away aggressively. What a throw by Yonkers. Gets it on the under. It's the second time he's done that this game. When you've got throws like that in your wheelhouse, you need to bust them out. Sideline to sideline. Half pitch. Wonderful throw. So the Belgians with a hold. 11-9. Still need those two breaks. We're able to get their first mere moments ago. Almost got their second immediately after. But thanks to the heads-up defense and aggression of Dragon, they were unsuccessful. They went down and received the point. So now it's 11-9. The Swiss O-line familiar at this point. Odermatt, Eagly, Ronika. Eagly and Odermatt to be the two main handlers. Van Jurgen. Ronika coming back under for that. He's got Bush in the middle, hits him. Lossi downfield makes a move, but well shut down. Bush instead goes to Eagly for the easy dump. Lossi making a move to the opposite sideline in the end zone, but Ronika is the smarter pass. Huge layup bid by Kinda. Bit of discussion between him and Odermatt. Seems like it's going to be immediately agreed. There was a lot of contact there, so Kinda happy for Odermatt to pick the disc up and continue play. He goes for a big hammer, and it sits perfectly. Handily brought in by Van Jonken. Well, I have to say, I think Lucy could have got it as well. So calm and confident response by the Swiss, pushing it out to 12-9. So if you're not able to hear that chant, the Swiss shouting, what time is it? Break time. See, Kinda gets a lot of physical contact from Odermatt. Wouldn't be able to get the turn without the contact, so Odermatt gets the disc back, and then a beautiful throw to Van Dierken. And that allows the Swiss to go 12-9 up. And the Belgians need to hold. They're able to get one break back, but that 4-point run that the Swiss were able to go on encompassing either side of the half, pushing the game out from 6-all to 10-6. So critical for them. The Belgians looking for another hold. Okay, to Derek, who immediately sends one deep. Yonkers is burning, but there's going to be some competition under it. Doesn't work the first time, collects it the second, despite the interest of high stand and even a streaking Paul Meyer in support. But in the end, Yonkers just a bit too quick. Bungles the first attempt slightly, but able to keep going and get it on the second. That's a great level of focus. 12-10. The Reich, and this is the second time he's done this now. Just calmly sets himself up and nails the beautiful flick hook all the way to the back of the end zone. That's one hell of a throw. Great work by the Yonkers, going up and trying to get it as high and early as possible. Batting it on. Still successful in the end. So the Belgians searching for those final breaks. The Swiss are within 3 points of the end of the game. 20 minutes left on the clock, so plenty of time for the Belgians. No need to rush themselves once they get the block. But they do need to get these blocks. Yonkers with a huge pull. Letting it drift back in. Eagly picks it up. Straight into Odermatt. And Eagly and Odermatt are working against one defender. A bit of confusion from the Belgians. In the end, they're able to correct it, and the Swiss were not able to take advantage as quickly as they like. Some fantastic man-on-man defense. Mayu, who was outnumbered, still shut down Odermatt very well. Eagly working hard. He's so good at sending the defender one way with his initial movement and then coming back for the easy throw. Odermatt swings around to the break side to Lucy. Textbook offense, looking an awful lot like the shot that Yonkers scored going that direction a few points ago. A beautiful blade. Well worked, and Lucy always ready for those kinds of throws from Odermatt. A fantastic blade straight over the stack, but not close enough for any of them to interfere. Hard running from Lucy gets him free in the end zone. And that pushes it out to 13-10. It's becoming business time now. The Belgians are running out of offensive points to let the Swiss have. But they've got one more of their own right now, and that's what they should be. That's what they will be focusing on. Okay, Kinda, Yonkers, the Reich all out there, so influential so far. Van der Est as well. So big and impressive players. Remember, this game opened up with several flawless points from both sides. The Reich has been hucking a lot in the most previous points and has been working out quite well from a beautiful scuba across to Hockey with Ravier in the middle. Pops it back to Hockey. And the Swiss counting each pass as it goes through the zone. Waiting to switch to man. Van Mulem pops that one back inside to Ravier. Out the side to Yonkers. Yonkers throws a fake. Back to Ravier, and this is lovely zigzagging play. Okay, lashes that one to the back corner of the end zone. He saw the cut the Reich was making, was hoping to hit him, put a bit too much speed on it. And Palmier coming across brilliantly just to close out that gap. I'm sure the Reich would have liked to chase it down, throw a bit on the disc, but Palmier gets his body in the right position to make sure that's never an option. So now the Swiss, an opportunity to score themselves. They're taking their time, walking it up to the front of the end zone. Right in the front, Gadamine has had that enviable task, unenviable I should say, for an awful lot of this game. A huge put all the way down the pitch. Baumgartner was streaking unopposed. Van Meulen able to try and shut that down. The Belgians doing a good job of filtering back, and the Swiss take their time. They know they don't have to rush. Getting this point, all that matters. A huge layout grab! Somehow, some way, Gadamine wraps his fingers around the wobbling, bobbling disc. After the touch, that one deserves the big celebration. Look at this. Great coverage initially. Switzerland forced to shoot for the end zone. It goes over the first two players, but an unbelievable layout grab from Gadamine. Rewarded with lots of hugs from his teammates. Those are some hard-won hugs. So much passion on all of these teams, and immediately he puts the disc up onto his head, signaling for the celebration. So now the Swiss 14-10 up, and that break puts them right back in the driver's seat. A 4-point lead, and now one score away from taking this game. And a big pull that looks like it's going to sail out of bounds. So Belgians get to start on a brick. They are in sudden death now. They cannot concede another point. They need to score 5 in a row. So now with the disc, the Reek. What's about the hook, eh? Nice little hammer over the top. Van Meulen back to the Reek. A much bigger, but still nice hammer over the top, and Yonkers. That was a beautifully weighted pass. He makes some very difficult passes look incredibly easy. Cracking player, stepping in, getting the catch from the hammer, and then just dishing that one out. That was a nice score for the Belgians. Tariq sees his opportunity, hits Yonkers with a huge hammer. We're right where he was hiding in between the two defensive players, the wing and the deep. Caught too far from him. And he just sets it up for the score. Smooth as you like into the end zone. So 14-11. Now the Swiss are going to come out here on offense. Their well-established O-line. Try and close this game out. Othamath, Ronike, Igli, the handlers. Everson, Bush, Lucy, and Dorn, the cutters. The odd moment of variation between the cutters, but for the most part, that has been the 7 driving this Swiss offense. Now Yonkers going for the pull. A huge one floating high and wide and coming down, forcing Eagly to stare right into the sun. Perhaps a crafty tactical decision. Odermatt pops that one right into the middle to Bush, who just keeps going. Mika goes back round to Bush. Beautiful work from the young man. He hits Odermatt down the line. The Swiss looking to put this game away. Odermatt keeps Bush, and Bush is taking the roll on for himself. So influential all the way down. Hits Dorn for the score, and they close out the game. 15-10. The Swiss, the victors. 15-11. I apologize. 2 young Belgian players correcting me very quickly. I'm sorry, lads. Great effort. Great effort. You see Bush seem to just take control of that point. Running the whole way, always providing the next option for the man he just threw it to. Great stuff from the Swiss. In what was quite a hotly contested battle and a game of small mistakes and few differences, they come out on top impressively in 15-11. A 4-point deficit. They worked hard for it, earned it well. I think my player of the game probably going to be, I did like Eagly a lot. Fantastically consistent, always able to get free. Obviously Odermatt was also fantastic. Ronika, who gets this huge grab and then he just lashes the hammer, even though he had the very available Odermatt directly in front of him, nailing that one to the back of the end zone in the waiting hands of Dorn. Here you see a beautiful flick all the way down the line to De Rijk. De Rijk, another standout player in this match. It's incredibly impressive all game long. Odermatt lashes a flick of his own. I thought the Belgians had this. It was right into the trap, but Dorn, yet another highlight featuring him scoring at the end. Great stuff from both sides.